Hi guys, my name's Khadroth, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the 23 million downloads campaign coming soon on NA. For us, it'll probably be the 20 million downloads campaign, because again, we're about 3 million downloads behind, as chat informed me. And basically, the thing you guys got to know is this should be our next thing happening after Valentine's Day. Now, again, I expect Valentine's Day is going to probably end Sunday night. Upcoming here, so you guys can probably expect this to happen on the 27th of February, because again, we're about 3 days behind where JP was at. Now, the thing that you'll be curious to know again is what's that going to mean for Slapstick Museum, aka Chaldea Boys here, because that was supposed to start on March 3rd. It may still start on March 3rd, or maybe they'll delay that by 3 days. I don't know. We're just going to have to kind of watch and wait and see just to determine what they're going to be doing with the schedule. There's a lot of theory crafting going on right now amongst content creators as to where they're going to be putting stuff later into the year, especially with regards to Lost Belt 6. I'm still of the opinion of thinking we're probably getting Lost Belt 6 sometime late May. Now, that would still be earlier than JP had it, because again, there does need to be a little bit of a shift basically for our anniversary. That should be happening sometime July 1st through the 2nd. And that's just because that's Anime Expo weekend. So we can kind of assume that that's when it'll be. But again, with regards to this, I still think shifting may happen, but don't be too worried about the fact that we're 3 days behind. They can easily make that up. So again, just talking about here are, again, 23 million or 20 million, depending on how you look at it, download campaign. It's going to be one with the Arthur banner. This is a decent campaign. There's not too much to write home about it. Again, you guys can see the login bonus here. You are going to get something like 10 tickets. You're going to get some nice apples in there for those of you guys that already spent them down in the lotto and stuff at the end of the year. And certainly if you guys are consecutively logging in, you can even get a rare prism. So for those of you that are newer players, for those of you that are more free-to-play oriented players, that is a really nice prize for you to be able to get your hands on. There's also going to be some extra missions. Don't worry too much about these. They are not really missions per se. They're probably going to be milestones that are added is the issue. So basically this is now going to be a thing that is going to be part of the actual campaign itself that's going to be added, but it's going to be a permanent addition, so that from now on, as you make progress in your account and you level up any servants to these levels, you will get basically courts for that. And so it's really, really nice in that regard. But you can see here too, there are some for leveling any servant to 100. There's nothing for 120. You don't have to worry about that because that system was not out on JP as of the time that this download campaign happened. But there will be missions for leveling units to 100. So I think this is definitely going to be concerning for those of you guys that don't want to use your grails or anything like that. But again, understand you can't miss these. You just might not get the courts right away. So basically, as it is a permanent milestone addition to the game, once you finally do level up units to those levels, then yes, you can get them. And again, the ultimate one from these is having 3 units at level 100. So eventually that should be a goal for you to work on if you wish to have the courts given to you for free. Now, there will be additional limited extra missions. These are going to be time oriented. These can be missed if you don't do them. So again, try to make sure that you guys are doing this throughout the campaign as it comes around. And you guys can see you will get a ton of embers as well as a faux pas print at the end of it. And they're not just any embers, they're 5-star all embers. So they work on everything. They're the best type of experience that you can actually get. Now, again, there's other parts to the campaign. You guys can see you're going to get servants and craft essences leveling up for a quarter of their cost in QP. That is really nice. It's going to certainly lower the amount of QP it takes you guys to get stuff online, but keep in mind it's not like increasing the amount of experience you're actually getting. You will, though, however, have a 2 times great and super success chance increase, and that is going to increase the rate of the extra procs that can get you more experience. So that's really, really good in that regard. On top of that, you're also going to have servant strengthening quests at half cost. So if you guys have any strengthenings that you have yet undone, you guys can go revisit them and actually finish them off for half the cost. This is typically when I try to get some of my strengthenings and interludes done, is whenever we have a half cost campaign. So if you've been sitting on any, these are the right times to do it. And then you will get friend points at 2 times the rate during this campaign. Don't worry about that. That's not that big of a deal, because again, you're going to get far more friend points from doing stuff like the lottos, but still certainly nice if those of you are out there who are maybe low on your friend points at the moment. From there, we're also going to get some updates to the Da Vinci Workshop. You guys are going to get the return of the White Vessels Command Seal command code. This is a really nice one because it removes any debuff when attacking using the engraved card. It's only one debuff, but it's still a really solid one that works in a lot of challenge scenarios. You already have one of these if you're someone that was around when it was first released, but now it will be coming back into the Mana Prism shop for you to be able to buy an additional copy. So this is one of the few command codes that you can actually have 2 copies of, even though it's limited. And then also you're going to have the Rare Prism Exchange unlock here, where basically you guys can see we get Chaldea Dinner Time. And again, this one is going to be bond and master experience by 5% each. It is relatively nice. It is HP scaling, so you're probably not going to want to invest in it in any way, but still, if you guys are trying to still get to like 150, 160, something like that, this is definitely a nice thing for you to pick up eventually, but probably not your biggest priority over other better bond CE equivalents. Now, again, you're also going to have the return of Dragon Slayer Swords. This is going to be another limited command code that you guys can actually get multiple copies of. And this one is going to increase the critical damage against dragon enemies by 25% of the engraved card. I highly recommend putting this on someone that you're either farming a lot of dragon enemies for, or someone that just naturally has a nice niche against dragon enemies already to begin with. Someone like Sigurd or Siegfried, they're really good against that, and there's pretty much other capable units out there like Sieg even that you can throw this on. So still really nice command codes coming back here. You will get a new strengthening quest for Arthur. I've actually talked about this one before, but basically what this is going to do is this is going to increase his mana burst skill in order to have NP gen on it, and now to have a 3-turn duration. So this is actually really nice. Unfortunately, with the way his charge currently works, you can't necessarily get away with using him in a double coin Skya setup too easily, but certainly if you can somehow get him into a scenario where you can use double coin Skya or get back to it, this would actually allow you to overlap his buster skill twice on. But even regardless, this is still going to allow him, if he is NPing multiple times in a node, to gain the benefit across all of those turns, as long as it's within a 3-turn window. So it's a really nice buff for him. Sadly, it's not what people were expecting him to get at the time. A lot of people were holding out for an NP interlude, and he still, as of this point on JP, has not had that. So it is certainly a welcome buff to him, but it's maybe not the end-all be-all to fix his issues. There were game updates that came out with this, but we've already had them, so don't worry about that. This is quality of life that NA has already gotten. And then there's the summoning campaign, and this is going to be sort of your prelude to Chaldea Boys. It's actually a really interesting one because not only do you have the opportunity to roll Arthur, who is limited himself, but you're also going to have the capability to roll basically old Chaldea Boys craft essences, and some of them are quite nice. Again, a very frequently talked about one was Talk of the Hot Sands. As you guys can see here, it's all attack scaling, and at MLB it's critical star absorption of 600% and crit damage by 25%. So with regards to performing over time and securing crits for yourself, it's a really nice one. I've seen people use it from time to time in challenge quests where they have to do a lot of carding, and it's definitely solid. Again, I think the issue that you guys are going to have with this sort of stuff is, as we look through here, there certainly can be good craft essences that you can get. The problem is there's not going to be anyone right up for those craft essences probably, so you're looking at it being instead just a potluck. So for instance, just amongst the 5 stars, there are 3 different 5-star CEs that you can get on top of being spooked by just general pool CEs. So that is going to be one of the concerns that you're going to have as you start looking into this, is do you really want to roll here for these craft essences, because you might not get the ones that you want. Another thing that I am going to point out here though too is that Outrage is here, and this is a fairly rare occurrence where you actually have the ability to roll a taunt craft essence. I actually have a video talking about how you can get this craft essence for not free but permanently. Basically, it's always available if you use a rare prism to buy it, but certainly if you would rather take your chances or get multiple copies of it, this is going to be how you're going to have to do it, is rolling one of these sort of rare banners that actually has a taunt craft essence in it. Just keep in mind, again, just like with the case with the 5 stars, you have basically 3 different 4-star CEs here that you can roll. So there's no guarantee if you don't invest in it that you're actually going to get outrage. I think that's going to be one of the concerns that you'll have trying to roll here. But still, there's a lot of good Chaldea Boys craft essences in this. You can decide again if maybe like something like Pierce Invincibility or something like Invincibility itself are something you would want to go after. But ultimately, I would say, unless you're just hard up for something like either finishing off your Talk of the Hot Sands or going after Outrage, probably not the best of reasons to actually roll this banner, short of just trying to get your hands on Arthur. Again, he could be a decent unit for those of you guys that want him. Probably not your best AoE saber at this point in the game, but he still hits fairly hard with his cards, and definitely, probably, I would say, will have a brighter future at some point. But again, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys found this informative, and I'll see you guys for the next one.